In 2024, scientists have discovered something that will change everything you believe about the future of humanity. A 2,700-year-old prophecy is being fulfilled before our eyes, and 99% of people haven't noticed yet. In the next few minutes, you'll discover why wild animals are changing their behavior in inexplicable ways. What is the hidden secret behind the transformation happening now? How this will affect your life in the next 10 years? And most importantly, why you were chosen to know this today. Before we reveal these ancient secrets, I need to be sure you're truly prepared to receive this information. I'm going to give you a simple test. If something inside you already knows this to be true, if you feel you've been guided here by a higher power, then demonstrate it now. Tap the like button below. This isn't just a button. It's your first act of agreement with the universe that you're ready for transformation. And if you chose to be here today, if you know it wasn't a coincidence, then you are part of a very special group. Subscribe to this channel now, because you are being invited on a journey that only the chosen will take. Those who subscribe receive first the deepest revelations, the secrets I can't share anywhere else, and the complete map of this coming transformation. Your like and subscription aren't just actions. They are your declaration to the universe that you are ready to awaken. Isaiah 11:6-8. One of the most enigmatic prophecies ever recorded. For 27 centuries, it remained a mystery, until now. The wolf will live with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the kid, the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child will lead them. Sounds fantastic? Impossible. So explain this to me. What if I told you this is not about animals, but about a much deeper transformation happening within you right now? There is a secret code hidden in this prophecy that reveals when this transformation would begin, and that date has already passed. When the ancient scribes recorded these words, they weren't just prophesying about the future, they were encoding a formula for the evolution of human consciousness. The numbers in Isaiah's prophecy, when decoded by sacred numerology, point to a specific window of time, an era where humanity would undergo a radical transformation of consciousness. And that era began precisely in 2020. It's no coincidence that the world has been undergoing such intense changes since then. It's no coincidence that you're feeling this inner restlessness, this sense that something big is coming. What's happening to animals around the world isn't just a scientific curiosity. It's a physical reflection of a transformation occurring at the level of collective consciousness. Lions being raised with lambs, wolves protecting sheep, snakes are being domesticated by children. This is happening now, on farms, sanctuaries, and in homes around the world. But there is something the ancients knew that has been deliberately hidden. The true prophecy does not speak of physical animals. It speaks of the animals within us. If you have anger, fear, anxiety, or hatred, you still do not understand what is happening to humanity now. Each animal mentioned in the prophecy represents a specific aspect of lower human nature. The lion represents our uncontrolled pride, our arrogance, our need to dominate and be admired. The wolf symbolizes our predatory instincts, our tendency to take advantage of others, our territorial aggression. The serpent represents our capacity to deceive, manipulate, our cunning and vengeful nature. And the lamb represents our vulnerability, our lost innocence, our capacity to trust and love without reservation. For millennia, these aspects have been at war within every human being. Pride attacking humility, aggression destroying kindness, deceit corrupting honesty. But prophecy speaks of a time when this inner war would come to an end, when the lion of pride would eat straw like the ox of patience, when the wolf of aggression would dwell in peace with the lamb of gentleness. And who would guide this transformation? A child. Not a physical child, but the inner child. That part of you that still believes in miracles, that part uncorrupted by the world's cynicism, that part that can still see beauty where others see only chaos. The awakening of this inner child is what mystics call second childhood. It's when you regain the capacity for wonder, for trust, for unconditional love, but now with the wisdom of an adult. People around the world are reporting extraordinary experiences. Sarah, a 45-year-old executive from New York, wrote to me, "I've always been an extremely competitive and aggressive person in business. But 2 years ago, something changed. I began to feel genuine compassion for my competitors. I stopped seeing business as a war and started seeing it as an opportunity to serve. My results improved dramatically, but more importantly, I found a peace I never thought possible." Marcus, a 28-year-old from Brazil. "I had a serious problem with anger. Anything would set me off. I'd fight in traffic. Arguments at home were constant. Until one day, watching my 4-year-old niece play, something clicked. I saw how she handled frustration naturally, without rancor. In that moment, I awakened my own inner child. Today, situations that once made me furious, I face with a calm that surprises even my family. Those who understand this first will be the leaders of the new era that is coming. They will be the ones who can navigate the intense changes that are coming. They will be the ones who will find peace while others are in chaos. But there's one obstacle that 90% of people can't overcome. The ego doesn't want to die. The animal nature within us resists transformation. It prefers the familiar war to the unknown peace. Right now, as you watch this, an epic battle is taking place within you, and the outcome will determine your future. On one side, you have your lower nature, your fears, your insecurities, your destructive patterns, your need for control, your tendency to judge and criticize. On the other side, you have your higher nature, your capacity to love, your intuitive wisdom, your connection to something greater than yourself, your ability to find meaning even in suffering. Most people live their entire lives unaware of this battle. They think that negative thoughts, destructive emotions, and automatic reactions are simply who they are. But they aren't. They're just patterns that have been conditioned over the years, and patterns can be changed. The transformation is already happening within you. If you feel a growing unease with the superficiality of the world, if you have an inexplicable hunger for something deeper, if you sense a greater purpose waiting to be discovered, these are signs that your higher nature is awakening. There are 3 levels of human evolution. The first level is where most people live, dominated by animal instincts. They react on impulse, driven by fear or desire, and live on autopilot. At the second level, the person awakens to the possibility of change. They begin to observe their patterns, to question their reactions, to seek personal growth, but they are still struggling with their lower nature. The third level is integration. This is when you no longer need to fight your inner animals because they have been transformed. Your anger has become focused determination. Your fear has become wise prudence. Your pride has become humble confidence. Maria, 52-year-old therapist. For 30 years I helped people with their emotional problems, but I myself was stuck in patterns of anxiety and perfectionism. When I understood that my anxiety was just the wolf inside me trying to overprotect myself, everything changed. I learned to thank this part of myself, but also to teach it a better way to take care of itself. Today, what was once paralyzing anxiety has transformed into sharp intuition. Roberto, 38-year-old businessman. My life was built on competition and the need to prove I was better than everyone else. The lion of pride completely dominated me. This destroyed relationships, caused chronic stress, and, ironically, limited my own success. When I learned to honor my ambition, but direct it to serve something greater, everything flourished. Now I lead my company not as a dictator, but as someone who genuinely wants to see everyone grow. The pitfalls in this process are many. Some people try to repress their animal aspects instead of transforming them. This doesn't work. What you repress always comes back stronger. Others romanticize the idea of transformation, but don't do the necessary inner work. They rely on theory and nice talk, but their patterns remain the same. True transformation requires courage. Courage to look at your shadow aspects without judgment. Courage to take responsibility for your reactions. Courage to choose love when everything inside you wants to choose fear or anger. We have reached the most crucial moment of this revelation. the one that will separate those who evolve from those who are left behind. What I'm about to reveal now can change everything for you, but it can also be incredibly disturbing for some. The transformation that is happening is not just individual, it is collective, and it is accelerating exponentially. Those who resist it will be left behind in a reality of conflict, fear, and separation. Those who embrace this change will find themselves in a new reality of peace, abundance, and connection. In 2025, something extraordinary will happen, and those who are not prepared will be left behind in the old reality. The signs are everywhere. Extreme climate change is not just a physical phenomenon, it is a reflection of a planetary shift in consciousness. Global political chaos is not just social instability, it is the collapse of old systems based on domination and control. The technological revolution is not just scientific advancement, it is the preparation for a new way of living and relating. Everything is converging toward a point of singularity where humanity will make a collective choice. Evolve or repeat the same destructive patterns of the past, and your individual choice contributes to the collective outcome. Every time you choose love over fear, you are voting for the new reality. Every time you respond with compassion instead of judgment, you are helping to tip the scales toward transformation. Everyone's role in this shift is unique. You have gifts, talents, and specific experiences that no one else has. Your contribution to the new humanity is irreplaceable. Perhaps you are a natural healer, someone who helps others find inner peace. Perhaps you are an innovator, someone who will create solutions to the world's problems. Perhaps you are a communicator, someone who will help translate these truths so that more people can understand. The new humanity will not just be happier or more spiritual people. It will be a completely different species, a species that can resolve conflicts through mutual understanding, a species that creates technology that serves life rather than destroys it, a species that lives in harmony with nature because it recognizes that we are part of it, not separate from it. Imagine a society where lying is virtually impossible because everyone has developed enough intuition to perceive the truth. Imagine organizations where there is no destructive competition because everyone understands that the success of one contributes to the success of all. Imagine relationships where there is no manipulation or control because everyone has learned to love without possessing. Julia, 31-year-old artist. Since I was little, I felt like I didn't belong in this world. Everything seemed too superficial, too focused on things that didn't really matter. For years, I thought there was something wrong with me, until I realized I was feeling the energy of the new reality that is emerging. Now I use my art to help others visualize this new possibility. It's as if I were an ambassador for a world that is still being born. David, 44, a teacher. My classroom completely transformed when I began approaching students not as empty vessels needing to be filled with information, but as unique beings with their own wisdom to share. Academic results improved, but more importantly, I saw young people who were lost find purpose and direction. The next steps to begin your journey today are simple, but not easy. First, you need to take an honest inventory of your inner animals. What aspects of your lower nature still control your decisions? Where do you still react out of fear instead of responding out of love? Second, you need to begin developing your inner child. That part of you that can find joy in the little things, that still believes miracles are possible, that loves unconditionally. Third, you need to find your community. The awakened recognize each other. There is a specific frequency, a quality of presence that people in transformation emanate. When you find these people, cherish these relationships as treasures because they will be essential to your journey. Fourth, you need to find a way to serve. Transformation isn't just for your own benefit, it's for you to become a channel of healing and upliftment for others. The signs that you're on the right path are unmistakable. Situations that once made you nervous begin to calm you. People who once irritated you begin to awaken your compassion. Problems that once seemed impossible begin to reveal creative solutions. Synchronicities, meaningful coincidences, begin to happen more frequently. Anna, a 36-year-old nurse. I worked in the ICU and was completely burned out. I saw so much suffering that I had lost the ability to empathize. It was a defense mechanism. When I began my inner transformation, something extraordinary happened. I developed the ability to be present with suffering without being destroyed by it. I could offer genuine love without losing myself in the process. My patients began to recover faster, and I found meaning in my work again. The legacy you will leave will not be measured by how many possessions you have accumulated or how many achievements you have had. It will be measured by how many people you helped awaken, how many times you chose love when fear seemed safer, how much you contributed to the elevation of humanity's collective consciousness. What I'm about to show you now has been censored for centuries. Mystical traditions around the world have always known about this transformation. The Essenes, a spiritual community from the time of Jesus, had detailed writings about the great shift to come. The Mayans created entire calendars based on this transition. The Vedas of India speak of the change of era we are now experiencing. But these teachings were kept secret, shared only among initiates, because humanity wasn't ready. Until now, there is a specific date when this will intensify, and it's sooner than you think. Astronomers speak of a rare planetary alignment that will occur in 2025. Quantum physicists speak of an energy field that is intensifying around the Earth. Biologists speak of an acceleration in evolutionary processes. Everything is converging. If you feel something different watching this video, it's a sign that the transformation has already begun within you. Perhaps it's a sense of recognition, as if you already knew these truths on a deep level. Perhaps it's an inexplicable emotion, tears welling up for no apparent reason. Perhaps it's a different energy in your body, a tingling, a sense of expansion. These are signs that your frequency is shifting, that you're tuning into the new reality. 90% of people will reject this truth, but the 10% who accept it will become the pioneers of the new humanity. They will be the ones who find solutions when others only see problems. They will be the ones who maintain hope when others succumb to despair. They will be the ones who create the bridge between the dying world and the world being born. What happened to me after I discovered this changed not only my life, but the reality around me. For years, I lived a normal life. Work, responsibilities, constant worries about the future. But there was a growing unease, a feeling that I was wasting my life on things that didn't really matter. When these truths began to reveal themselves to me, I initially resisted. It seemed too radical, too optimistic. But the signs were undeniable. Toxic relationships naturally dissolved. Opportunities aligned with my purpose began to miraculously appear. People who needed to hear exactly what I had to share crossed my path at the perfect time. Soon, there will be two types of people in the world, and you need to choose now which one you will be. On one side, those who will remain stuck in old patterns, competing instead of collaborating, fearing instead of loving, dividing instead of uniting. They will live in an increasingly chaotic reality where problems multiply faster than solutions. On the other side, those who have embraced transformation, creating instead of destroying, serving instead of serving themselves, connecting instead of separating. They will live in a reality of abundance, purpose, and genuine peace. The choice is not just about you, it's about all of humanity. Every person who awakens raises the collective frequency. Every person who chooses love over fear contributes to the critical mass needed for global transformation. You're not just one person trying to improve your life, you are an agent of human evolution. We've reached the end of this journey, but for you, this is just the beginning. Isaiah's prophecy wasn't about a distant future, it was about now. It was about you. Right now you have two choices. First, close this video, go back to your normal life, and pretend none of this is real. Continue to be controlled by your inner animals: fear, anger, anxiety, ego. Second, accept your calling. Become the child who guides the animals. Begin your transformation today and be part of the new humanity that is emerging. If you chose the second option, if something inside you knows this is true, then your real journey is just beginning. In the comments below, write just one word: awaken. This will be your commitment to your evolution. And remember, you were not chosen to be ordinary. You were chosen to be extraordinary. The lion is learning to eat straw. The child is learning to guide. Now, it's your turn to choose who you truly are. The transformation has begun. Are you ready?